Hello everyone, welcome back to the Casually Hardcore Gaming channel. This is your host Nick, bringing you yet another video. Today's video is going to be my top 10 favorite games of 2017, and we're going to dive right into this list because these games were immaculate and some of my best experiences so far in gaming as a whole. Starting off with number 10, Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch. From the creators of the Dynasty Warriors series, Koei Tecmo partners up once again with Nintendo to bring out another incredible entry in their Warriors series with Fire Emblem Warriors. For those who have not gotten a taste of this game on Nintendo platforms, Koei Tecmo released Hyrule Warriors back in 2012 for the Wii U, and that game was incredible, and their partnership flourished with Fire Emblem being the next game in their series of Nintendo tie-ins, bringing tons of great characters from the most recent entries in the Fire Emblem series. You have characters from Fates and Conquest duking it out, and you have characters from Shadow Dragon like Marth making their return as well. All the characters have their original voice actors, and you get to fight through a ton of enemies new and nostalgic through a ton of great locales. The challenge maps are incredible. The season pass is actually valued at $20 and gives you an actually good amount of content. The game feels entirely complete and concise. There's not a single boring moment. If you love Warriors games and you love Fire Emblem, this is really the game for you. It is so much fan service, all in a great package with smooth gameplay from their new engine and tons of great secrets and side things to do. This game is definitely worth your buck. I personally recommend it, and it comes in at number 10 for my favorite games of 2017. Coming in at number 9 was a game that I really had some worries about, and it blew me away and brought back so much life into this franchise, that being Assassin's Creed Origins from Ubisoft, or Ubisoft for those who are French. Ubisoft brought back another great franchise from the dead in some retrospect, in which Assassin's Creed Origins really needed to pump in new lifeblood into the franchise, and oh boy, did it. Its new RPG elements were very welcome and fluid. The map and scenery was amazing. The transitions were incredible. They brought back the combat from the games that are recently, like the naval combat, which was amazing, and then they fine-tuned what made the formula better. They made the free running a ton of times better. Assassin's Creed Unity really butchered it with their new system, but I think at this point Assassin's Creed Origins kind of perfects it to this new style of system, really allows the player to have total control, and the characters are really enjoyable. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but they feel real. You feel invested this time around. I haven't felt this invested in a character since Ezio or Kenway. I really kind of came into one with the character. I really became one with the Assassin's Creed Origins main character, and that's why, because I was so blown away expectation wise, Assassin's Creed Origins is my number 9 top 10 game of the year. Coming in at number 8 is Bethesda's Prey. Now this game also blew me away. I totally didn't have it on my radar. I had the game recommended to me by friends and honestly family too. My little brother played this game and loved it. So I went and picked up a copy, and Prey was everything I could ask for and more in a horror game. Prey actually creates legitimate fear. You don't know what enemy is an enemy. You don't know what item could be enemy. You don't know anything. And it starts becoming psychological with you to the point that I was destroying everything in my environment that I could because I didn't know if it would attack me or not. I haven't had that sense of thrill from a video game in a very long time. Now, for fans of the original Prey, this is a total reboot. They totally redid everything, and the only thing that sticks around is the actual name of the game itself. So everything you played in Prey back on the 7th gen consoles is no longer here. That is my only kind of complaint, was the fact they didn't continue the series, because the original Prey was supposed to be some space bounty hunter ordeal, which looked incredible. But Prey as a horror game from Bethesda lines up clearly with their portfolio. I loved it. I think it's better than The Evil Within 2, to be quite honest. I think this is the best horror game of the year. Resident Evil 7 had a run for its money, and personally, Prey, I think, lands perfectly at the number 8 spot. If you like horror, if you like Bethesda, this is the game to check out, and this is the game that I recommend on this list for horror games of 2017. Coming in at number 7 is honestly my top indie game of the year if it wasn't for the one that's coming in the top 3. But A Hat in Time brought me back so much nostalgic views that it had to be on this list. I felt like I was playing the modern version of Super Mario 64 again. It brought me back to a little kid, and all the worlds and everything inspires me so much to continue playing it, and I loved every moment I spent with that game, from the countless amounts of Easter eggs, from the love and care that went into creating such vibrant worlds and characters. They really stood out amongst a bunch of indie games on all platforms. A Hat in Time is honestly worth all $20. This is one of those indie games that I don't say wait for a sale. I say if you love platformers, if you love any old platformers from the 64 era and going forward, this game is worth your dollar, time, and more. A Hat in Time cannot be praised enough. I personally cannot wait for more games from this development team, but A Hat in Time takes the top 10 spot with number 7 in my top 10 games of the 2017. Coming in at number 6 is Fortnite's Battle Royale that just launched later this year. This was fantastic, one of the best games I think in terms of a multiplayer experience. Having the Battle Royale on consoles at 60 frames per second with minimal frame drop, with very, very great cartoonish aspects to it, and the microtransactions are literally only cosmetics, to the point where it has a disclaimer when you buy it. These are cosmetics only. They have no in-game change effect, which is fantastic considering all of the bullshit that's been pulled this year with microtransactions. But Fortnite Battle Royale is everything you want and more. Stay away from PUBG on the Xbox One right now to how broken it is. I say go with Fortnite. Drop some money on those guys. Epic Games delivered a quality experience, and one that I continue to come back to and will continue to come back to for years to come. Coming in at number 5 is the only 3DS title to grace this list, being Metroid Samus Returns. My god, Samus is back. Nintendo did it, and with Metroid Prime 4 on the horizon here, it was great to see Nintendo bring back such a beloved character, especially of mine as well, and actually have the game be good to boot. The gameplay is great, going back to its nostalgic old roots, but making it to where it fits in modern times. This remake/reboot really blends together gameplay of classic and new in such a great experience, and it makes you want to go back and play the other things as well. And the amiibo that came out actually had functionality that brought back some throwbacks to Metroid Fusion, which was another great little thing that Nintendo threw in there. If you still have a 3DS and you love Metroid Prime, or if you love Nintendo classic sequels, go buy this game. Go out there and do it, because it shows that Nintendo can still bring back classic IPs and shows that the fan base is still there. I cannot recommend this game enough. Samus Metroid Returns is easily the top 10 games of this year list, and it's the top 5 game, starting off with Metroid Samus Returns brings in the top 5 games of 2017. Let's dive into the next one. Number 4 continues the trend of classic characters in their classic games being brought back into the spotlight within 2017, being Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is created by an actual mod team, but not the actual Sonic Forces team, which is the Sonic team. But for whatever reason, since 3D Sonic games continue to suck year in and year out, Sonic Mania brings back the 2D experience we've all been clamoring for, bringing back classic maps from the Sega Genesis era, introducing a new spectacular way of allowing yourself to become Super Sonic once again. And the best part, there's no DLC, there's no microtransactions. The Easter eggs are full of love and care, giving throwbacks to a bunch of classic Sega titles. It's a great game to play. It's very short, but it's also priced at the right point at $20. The collector's edition was so much fun. I mean, Sonic Mania is what every game strives to be. It inspires the characters. It literally gives back to the community and the fan base what we've been asking for, and it's fun. It's downright fun and tons of enjoyment. If you haven't tried out Sonic Mania, I say go ahead and go out and do so. It's on the Nintendo Switch, PC, Xbox One, and PS4, not the Wii U, but it's on every platform you could potentially have your hands on, and it's worth every penny. Coming in at number 3 is the best Microsoft exclusive of 2017, being Cuphead. This platformer slash 2D shooter slash side scroller hybrid is immaculate. It is so much fun to play. The graphics are the most breathtaking thing you ever think of. They are a classic 1960s, 70s cartoon with the music is just, it is a masterpiece. It plays well. The graphics are entirely new to its own genre, I believe. The music complements it thoroughly. The boss fights are a ton of fun, and the game is so stinking hard, but at the same time, you can complete it in one day. There are YouTube runs, and not by professional reviewers slash runners. You can complete this game in a day. That's how easy slash hard it is, depending on how much effort you put into memorizing the bosses and formulas. This game is so much fun. It's a $20 price point. I think Cuphead is this game's indie game of the year. It's immaculate. I keep saying the word immaculate. This game's immaculate. This game is fantastic. It is the best indie game I've played to date, honestly. It's in the runs with Shovel Knight for one of my top indie games of this generation. Coming in at number 2 is a game you probably expected to be on this list, being Mario Odyssey. The game's a great callback to a bunch of older classic titles with its uniform slash hat system. It goes back to Dr. Mario, the old Game Boy games. Hell, the only game it doesn't really throw back to is Super Mario Sunshine. Where is Flood? But the gameplay is really reminiscent of 3D Land, Super Mario Galaxy, and even Sunshine. It's a great Mario game to play. It's got a ton of fun worlds. The only thing that I had issues with was the moon system and how tedious it was, but if you are a platform collector, this game is right up your alley. It's a very charming Mario game. It's super easy, so much fun. It's accessible and playable by kids of all ages and adults of all ages as well. It's a perfect game to sit down with your family and play. Number 2 this year is Mario Odyssey, and Nintendo continues to deliver on great Mario experiences. Coming in at number 1, the best game of 2017 for casually hardcore slash Nick is going to be Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now this is how an RPG is done. The scale of the world is so big and vast, but it actually doesn't feel empty. There's things to do and enemies everywhere. There's villages and tasks to complete. The game can be completed in one sitting in terms of you going and fighting Ganondorf, but there's so many things to do. You truly have the freedom of choice in how the story unfolds. There's so many shrines and temples to go and check out, so many dungeons to go through, so many side bosses, and even the secret ending boss is so much fun to fight. The puzzles are challenging. The world is beautiful. The soundtrack is again incredible, and there's voice acting in a Zelda game. Now Link doesn't talk, but everybody else, the cast, it does, and the DLC is so much fun. You have a ton of great skins that give throwbacks to classic games, and the Champions Ballad DLC gives a lot of story slash character growth into the champions. The characters in this game are very memorable. Link is at his highlight in this, and Nintendo is at their best with another great Zelda game. I don't know how they continually one-up themselves with great Zelda experiences, but Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the best RPGs of this generation, if not one of the best RPGs in recent years. It's how you do it, and this is why number 1 game of the year goes to Zelda Breath of the Wild. And if you haven't told already, Nintendo Switch has been delivering it with great titles this year so far. So that's an absolute wrap from me. 2017 delivered a lot of great and fantastic games. I know that not every game can be on this list. I had to narrow it down to 10 games, and it was very hard for me to do. Now, if your game was not on this list, comment below what your top 10 games were and why you liked them so much. I know this game list can't cater to everyone, but that's why it's my personal top 10 best. There were so many other titles out there that could have easily made it within the top 10, but I had to cut it down, and it was very hard for me to do. And that's when you knew you had a great year in gaming, when you had so many great experiences that you couldn't narrow it all down to 10. You literally had so many great titles. I could do a top 10 list for almost everything, but at the same time, there's other channels that do that, and they're very clickbaity, and I don't want to be a part of that. So thank you for tuning in and checking out the top 10 favorite games of the year. And also, we have a video out as well, the top 10 most disappointing games of the year and why they're disappointing. Go check that video out. Leave a like, give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. 2018, we're going to be delivering a ton of fantastic content. This video took us a while to produce, so we really put a lot of effort into it, and we would really like to see the community feedback on if you liked it or not. And as always, I'm Nick from the Casually Hardcore Gaming channel. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking your time out of your day to watch one of our pieces of content. Keep on fragging trucks.